Dragon's Lair and Space Ace, we actually overlapped the two productions. You know, his team, once they delivered all of their scripting and some of their storyboards, they jumped over on the Space Ace concept, and we started to receive that information. So when Don was done storyboarding and posing for the scenes and sequences of Dragon's Lair, he jumped right over on what was coming to him.
Yeah, everyone was up to speed at that point. I mean, we were meshing. The teams knew what they were doing. They didn't know if they were doing it right, but they knew what they were doing at that point.
Well, I won that role by default because, you know, we just couldn't find anybody, and we didn't have the money to go out and hire ourselves a really good actor.
No, you were the best.
No, it wasn't the best, but we could.
Well, that's because it was your voice. We thought it was the best.
Well, you guys. Paul Shinar would have done that voice very, very well. Paul Shinar, he did the part of Jenner in Secret of Nim, but he had a real low bass voice down there. With me, the electronics helped out a little because all I did was growl, you know, like that.
Which is hard on your throat.
And, yeah, very, very hard. So then they would take that voicing, and with the electronic, they would push it down and do more stuff to it. So that it really, in the end, as I listened to it, I said, "Are you sure that's me?" Because I couldn't recognize my own voice. But it was fun. It was fun for a moment just being the bad guy.
Musically, you know, the first Dragon's Lair was just almost like watching Law and Order on TV. It just had these little music stings every once in a while, or, you know, maybe 2 bars of music, and that would be it. But Chris Stone, the composer for Dragon's Lair, came back on Space Ace and actually gave it an underscore.
Yeah, score. Yeah.
So everything advanced, you know, and even the cost of making each one of them advanced. The first one was like 1.3 million. Space Ace was 1.8 million.
I think that's part of the reason why Space Ace felt like it had the continuity is because of that score.
Oh, I believe so too. And then with Dragon's Lair 2, that was all the way up to 2.3 million. So I mean, it just kept jumping, but we just kept putting more into them because we knew we had to do something that would keep that audience entertained visually.
I think we just ran out of time with the cinematonics shut down and everything. We basically had to change a guard of one of our partners who didn't want to proceed anymore. So what do you do?
And remember, now we were 70% done with Dragon's Lair 2, which would be about the time that we had the Beast project. I think some minor things done with it. We were getting ready to get going, but when they called and said, look, the bottom's dropping out of the market, and our creditors are getting nervous, and there's being a trustee assigned to the company, and they're going to shut it down. And we said, well, what about the bills? You know, they were leaving us high and dry too. So, and nobody had spread the money. We'd reinvested the money in making the games, but we hadn't cut profits to the 3 companies. They were sitting on all the money. There was less waste, I think, in Space Ace. I don't recall anything being cut out. Do you?
Well, just the occasional animation scene that wasn't very good, so we just threw it away and started again.
Well, Dragon's Lair, we had to cut, you know, because we had a fatal design in the Laserdisc, the assumption about the Laserdisc, the search time, we cut 30% right there, and then of course when we cut things that we found weren't fun or didn't play right or whatever, so I think we were going through a learning curve.
Yeah.
So we were better at it.
So we were better at wasting
in the first one. My favorite scene in Space Ace probably is them on those power skates where they're going through all the canyons on that very strange environment. But below, I think they're right below at the bottom of where Borf's main camp is.
Mine was the space sleds with the orbs that would shoot at them if you didn't shoot them.
Yeah.
Mine was him on the bike where he's trying to get her to go to dinner with him.
Yeah, that's good.
The bike is inconsequential. It's all about the dinner.
We've had all the artwork for almost everything we've done. The Dragon's Lair, our first film in Don's Garage, Banjo the Woodpile Cat, and pieces of all the features. And especially the last three were passed on to us by the owners of the product. And last year, after spending close to $500,000 over 20 years to store the stuff, we elected to donate it to one of the colleges that offer animation. So the entire archive, which would fill a 2,000, I guess you'd have to multiply it into a cube. It was very tall shelves, industrial shelves, that every shelf was filled with our archive. And that is all with the Savannah College of Art and Design and at the disposal of those art students.